Hi, my name is Tammy from A Couple Adventures. A Couple Adventures on Facebook, a couple adventures.com. I'm an artist, a mentor, and I started a series interviewing creatives that I admire and love to get to know more about. So this is hashtag Creative Innovators. And today, this evening, excuse me, I'm interviewing Sergio Azevedo, who is a monkey on acid on Periscope, on Instagram, and I'm sure everywhere else that's what his handle is. So Sergio, tell me who you are, a little bit about yourself, your favorite creative outlet, how long you've been doing this, that kind of stuff.
Sure. So, I am a graphic designer slash web designer slash front-end developer slash marketing automation admin slash illustrator. I've been doing a lot of that first couple of things for most of my career for about 16 years. I've been drawing since I was a kid. But there have been, some parts of, time there where I haven't done it. You move on to one thing from another and whatnot. For work, my primary work, that's where all the design stuff comes in, a lot of that. The illustration and drawing, for the most part, has always been, I would say, my creative outlet. It's not something that I've done for money, for work, anything like that. I mean, it creeps in there once in a while, but it's primarily my go-to therapy, between that and, playing guitar, things like that. So try to keep myself busy in different creative ways. Yeah, that's it.
So is the art your favorite creative outlet? Because you said you also play guitar. That's your most favorite thing. Have you tried anything else?
Yoga. Almost broke my hip. No, I'm kidding. I broke my leg. No, it's pretty much been mostly those as far as creative stuff. Goes a little writing here and there, but for the most part, yeah, between music and art, that's kind of where I've been.
Is there anything else you'd like to explore? Anything outside of your norm that you've been kind of contemplating?
Good question. Creatively, oh, I'm a dummy. Actually, silk screening was something that I got into last year for a while. I realized that because I'm looking at a wall covered in silk screen prints, and I didn't even think to bring that up. I found that to be extremely tedious and laborious, and as much as I liked it, like learning about it, like getting into it, kind of put that to the side a little bit, because I found that to be one of those things where unless I am doing 100 prints and selling them or whatever, it's not really something that I'm going to be doing once just to put on a wall. But the good thing that did happen with it, that's actually what got me back into drawing more. Because for a while I wasn't drawing. Once I got onto the computer about, I don't know, let's say 1999 when I first touched Photoshop, drawing kind of started to go by the wayside. So
By drawing, you mean hand drawing instead of drawing with computer graphics?
Right, right. So I started to get into more of the computer stuff, and kind of getting away from drawing a bit. So it's kind of very sporadic over the years. But I never stopped doing the one thing that I always needed to, which was drawing. Which, if I'm doing an email or a website or anything like that, I do not start without putting pencil to paper. And over the years, wherever I've worked, whether it's in crazy corporate place or whatever, I always get the whole, you have a computer in front of you. Why the hell are you still drawing? Like, what would? And I'm like, listen, you don't build a house without a blueprint. This is just what works, And I'd have other designers around me that wouldn't even touch it. But I found for me, if I go straight to the computer, I will take more time pushing pixels around the screen, trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do when I could have already done it, with just a few, thumbnails that I could easily, quickly, just mock up and change and edit as I go. So that's kind of always been there, but never really a big outlet for me. But then last year when I was doing the whole, silk screening, and it kind of jumped off of that, I got back into the drawing. And I can also attribute that to being on Instagram finally, where I'm now using it for more than just, looking at, I don't even know. I didn't want to say. But,
I know. Whatever.
Yeah,
Now I'm actually using something
yeah,
for me. Yeah.
yeah, that stuff. But yeah, it got me back into it. It got me to follow a lot more artists. It really motivated me to get back into drawing, and that's where we are today.
So Kathy actually has a question. She wants to know if you draw, if you use pencil, if you use any other medium. Obviously, with the computer,
Yeah,
do you use like an electronic pencil? And when you're drawing, pencil only, pen, ink, what do you do?
I have always been about pencil. Penciling was always my thing. When I was younger, I mean, all I would do is, um, a lot of life drawing, things like that. I never really was big on ink. I wasn't big on paint. I wasn't big on watercolor. And I think that's just the natural male aversion to commitment because it's so permanent. I like erasing pencil. No, I honestly, really only until like last year, I started to get more into pen, and then I started getting into markers. Now I'm all about, the Copic markers, probably because they're so damn expensive. I can't let them sit there and do nothing. But yeah, it's always been pencil for the most part. That's where I go. That's it. I start on pencil. Even if I'm doing something digital, I haven't done much digital lately, but I need a pencil-like brush. I need something like that. And there's a ton that I've downloaded and that I use, often. But for the most part, pencil and paper, whatever actually gets me away from the computer at night, which is nice. I actually don't like going on the computer when I'm home unless I have some freelance work that I have to do. But yeah, pencil all the way. Pencil's my buddy.
Charcoal pencils also, those are included in that?
I've done charcoal in the past. I've done charcoal, but I only like taking one shower a day, and with me, I end up it's not good.
Streak across the face here, yeah, I've done that.
Yeah,
that's my thing. When I forget that I've got stuff on my fingers unless I've got my painting shirt on. I forget, and I'm like, oh yeah, oh crap, now I got a mess. So you said you started drawing when you were a kid. Was creativity something that was encouraged when you were a kid?
I wouldn't say that it was really encouraged. Like I didn't really have anybody around me saying, "Oh, you have to do this, you have to do this." But the more I did it, the more people noticed, and they would always say, "Hey, that's pretty good. You should do more." Probably the biggest influence, though, that I'd say in my life that I had with that was my grandfather, who, when I was younger, he lived here in America, and he played violin. And to this day, if I hear a violin, lump in the throat, it's tough. But he was the one, I guess you could say, that had an artistic kind of background, I guess, and it was with music. He loved seeing me draw, and when I was a kid and go to Portugal after he moved back, I would just sit there drawing because the area was so beautiful. He would love it. And then he'd go in, he'd play his violin, and I'd sit right there and listen to him. And so I had that with him, but for the most part, never really anybody constantly around me as the cheerleader, I should say. But I have had some great teachers. We had that little thing today on Periscope where I mentioned how when I went to school, we actually had a really good art program there and had some great teachers there. And it's sad to say the art program is pretty much crap today because that's just what happens with schools. Let's give kids concussions, not paintbrushes, whatever. So yeah, mostly, whoever would just, see me doing what I'm doing and say, hey, that's pretty cool. Go on, do something with that, but not really, anybody constantly on me.
So comics or real life, or were you, was there one thing in particular that you drew a lot?
I'd say it ended up being comics a lot, like that kind of thing. In the 90s, I'm going to start dating myself here, but yeah, when I was in high school, early 90s, that was comics were my thing. I was kind of late to comics, to be honest. I'd say it was probably like 91 when I got into comics. No, I say late. I was like maybe 12. That was like kind of what I always wanted to be, I admit I made the mistake of not really learning things properly, having a little touch of the ADD. I never, I would see the whole process of drawing, right? So it's like you do your circles and this and that, you lay it out. No, screw that. I want the end. I want the finished piece. I still have that today. I still wrestle with that so much today. But yeah, I never really ended up, going into, I guess, sequential art for comics just because I didn't learn it, but who knows? Maybe sometime soon I may announce something. Who knows? 2017 could be interesting.
That would be so much fun. I was just gonna say,
yeah.
Are you thinking about teaching some of the fundamentals? Because I know there are a lot of young kids out there who are wanting to practice drawing. Comics, it seems like the most typical thing, just because it's easy access and you can hold on to it, you can copy it right out of the book. But like you said, the fundamentals, you have to have the fundamentals of proportion, all that kind of stuff. You gonna do something with that?
I don't know so much about the teaching. I've actually done that with design. I've come across, in my career, not that I'm no Aaron Draplin or whatever. I've come across people that lack fundamentals in the work they do. So I've had to step aside and tutor some people or whatever. As far as the art goes, I've never really thought about teaching it. There are people that have asked, and I said, yeah, sure, let's do something. And then, one day it turns into a week, and then a week turns into a month, and then, it's a year later, that kind of shit. But I am going to be doing more coming January 2nd. I say the 2nd because the 1st I'll be hungover in the bed. 2017, I'm going to be doing a lot more with art. Taking commissions, finally, like officially taking commissions, putting stuff up for sale, that kind of thing. Which people ask why I haven't done that in the past, and the reason really is because it's such a personal thing for me, and I hate. I'm not even on Periscope because I hate people watching me do what I do, and for me to even put stuff out there like on Instagram and whatnot, like that's a big thing for me because I actually like criticism better than I do likes and stuff like that. I learned from criticism, not the niceties. It's great to have. Don't get me wrong. They put stuff out there because to put monetary value on something I draw, whatever. I tend to just give stuff away. Like, here you go, you can have it. No big deal. But I think. I got to start paying for these art supplies a little bit, and I'm a lot more comfortable with the work. People seem to like it. So, yeah, next year, that's it. I really want to take my freelance stuff and make that become the illustration stuff. I want to stop spending, being up till 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning working on a website sucks. It sucks. It's not fun. It's not good. I do it all day long as it is. I don't need to do it at night. So I'm having fun drawing. I feel like I'm growing. I'm getting better. I'm almost where I'd like to be. And there's interest there. So I might as well start doing that since it's making me happier. Who knows, maybe at some point, a couple of years from now, a full-time illustration. Who knows? That would be amazing to do that.
I think that's a mindset that we have also, is that, we have to feel comfortable with what we're creating to be able to get to a point where we're okay with showing it to the world and then getting paid for it. If someone is asking where to get your stuff at A Monkey on Acid. A Monkey on Acid. Yes, A Monkey on Acid. On Instagram, he's on Periscope. So in the information is actually a part of the Periscope and will also be a part of the YouTube. So in the past, comics were your inspiration. What kind of inspiration do you draw from now?
Now it's still somewhat based in comics, only because I just, last couple of years starting to get back into it. But like on my Instagram, I follow probably 800 and something people. 90% of them, 95% are artists. So I'm just scrolling along, looking. I see all these different things. Oh, that's cool. I'll try something like this. Oh, that's pretty cool. Try something like that. I also look at it as practice. You know what I mean? Like, I'll post something that looks like a finished piece, but it's really like, okay, I have this idea. Let's see if I could do it. Okay, I'll do it. Oh, good practice. Let's go to the next one. Oh, okay, I'll do this. Go to the next one. I should probably be spending more time filling up pages in a sketchbook to do that, rather than just, spending so many hours on just trying to finish a piece. But at the same time, I'm doing more with that one piece than I would probably with just filling up a page on the sketchbook. So, it's either one or the other. I'm going to learn either way and do a little more with it. I actually forgot what I was going to say.
That's okay. I was going to say, I think as long as you're working on your skill and you're honing it, however you do it, if you're doing, get the basic idea of a frame, or you're actually perfecting a piece that you're working on it, and you're working your skills, you're improving yourself. So regardless of how you go about doing it, as long as you're doing it.
Yeah. Oh, you were saying inspiration. That's what it was. I remember. I had to take a sip of my little drink here. So aside from, comics, video games, movies, I'm still into the posters, the silk screening posters. There's a lot of great illustrators out there. I would tell everybody to look up, poster designers. There are a ton of great illustrators out there for that. And you can get some pretty good inspiration from that, believe me.
Cool. So, difficulties with motivation, getting our work started, then focus, and then working through procrastination and perfection and all of these things, are part of being an artist. How do you deal with those things as they come up?
I have a great big smile on my face as you were saying that, because I knew it was coming. I am a master self-saboteur. Believe me, my biggest problem is I'm already thinking about the end piece. I'm already thinking, it doesn't matter what it is that I'm working on, if it's, again, if it's the logo, website, whatever, it's the drawing, I'm already thinking about what the end is going to be. I might not see what it is, but I know what it's going to be. And I know the work that's going to be involved. And then I immediately just go, ugh, it'd be so much easier to just fire up the PlayStation and not do it, which happens. It happens. I'm human. It just sometimes, for instance, last night this happened. I, got home. I was just tired. I haven't been feeling too well for the past week. I had this piece that was sitting there, unfinished, probably about a week and a half. I had the drawing, but maybe a week, that I just put on Instagram last night. It was the Red Sonja piece. And I didn't want to do anything. And I sat down on the couch and I looked at the TV and I was like, this is stupid. Why am I sitting here? Sometimes I just have to get up, go to it, and just start on it. And that's all it takes. And then that's it. I'm in. I'm done. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. A lot of the time.
A little bit more determination than motivation.
Yeah. I'm kind of always motivated to do something, but I'm not always determined to do it. It's just one of those things where, I'm a natural born pessimist and a cynic. And a lot of times I question, why the hell do I even bother? Why am I going to do this? Who cares? And then I'm like, you know what? I should do it because I'm going to come across something that I got to do. And I probably could have learned it doing this, and then sometimes I forget the gratification of finishing the work, And as I'm even saying this, I feel like such a hypocrite because I've got a stack of work about this big that I got to get done sitting right there. And I know people are going to watch this and be like, that son of a bitch is supposed to be doing this. And he's talking on Periscope. What the hell?
Well, that's part of getting yourself out there. So 2 questions. One, what do you do when you're working on a piece and you get distracted? You bring yourself back to working on that piece. So let's say you're doing a commission work. I personally don't do commission work because I get distracted and I put it off and I put it off and I work on other things. And then, 3 weeks later it's due and I haven't handed it in. I haven't done it. I'm like that with anything. How do you overcome that? And also someone wants to know, does music inspire you?
Oh, music. I kind of want to do this one backwards because I can't do anything without music. My life revolves around music. There has to be something. Even as, to admit it took me about 10, 15 minutes just to set up light in this room because I am so not used to even being on the computer anymore. But I had music going. I had music as soon as I came in, the house tonight. Work, I have to have something going on. And it's always changing, whether it's, today I had a classical video game music playing. I mean, it's just had that going. Some days it's death metal. Some days it's, you know, plain old rock. Some days it's just Japanese rock. It's whatever gets me going, that, you know, that has me in the mood. That's what, you know, that's what I need. Even at work now, you know, 3 months today I've been at this job, very corporate, you know, big company, whatever. Nobody really sits there with headphones on, and I can't sit there in this silence with just people talking around me trying to do work. So I got my headphones in, very like whisper, you know, volume, just so I can hear people if, you know, they call my name. But I have to have something there. So for that, yeah, music is hugely inspirational for me. You know, I'm an avid concert goer. That is usually what I need just to get back into playing guitar, because I always find myself going a couple of weeks without even picking up a guitar. And if I go to a concert, I'm home that night. I don't care if it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm picking up the guitar and I'm playing. You know, damn the neighbors. I don't care. As far as getting over that hump of you know, work, I think what it comes down to is not wanting to let anybody down. I think that's one of the biggest things. When it's paid work, I try to take it much more seriously, of course. But you know, sometimes life happens, and you just can't get to it. You know, a lot of times, and this is kind of dangerous advice, but sometimes you just have to wait for inspiration. You know, you can't always be full of ideas once you start something. I mean, once in a while, a project comes in. Like, I love logo work. That I don't even waste time with that. I'm in a sketchbook and I'm just drawing away. I don't care what it is. But other things like larger projects, it's like, okay, I know what I got to do. Let me map it out, but I don't have an idea right now. I'll come back to it, you know. And even if it's coming close to a deadline, that's it. You know, tiger's out of the cage. Shit's getting done, and there's nothing to worry about, you know. I have missed some deadlines by a little bit. You know, I'm not gonna lie, it happens. But yeah, it's you know, again, just the fear of letting anybody down. I don't want to do that, especially if they're paying for it. You know, you got to give it your all. But at the same time, I'd rather be a little bit late and give them what they deserve, rather than try to get stuff done early and later on be like, oh, I could have just done it this way. It would have been so much better. Or, you know, they won't know. I've gotten away with so much crap with clients that, you know, they don't even realize. But I know, and that's the thing. So.
Yeah, I think sometimes with commission work, or for me, I know my perfectionist part of me wants it to be absolutely perfect. And if I see something that, I mean, I've scrapped whole pieces and I'm like, I got to start all over again because it's just not right. It doesn't work right. Yeah. Excuse me. I know for me, I'm the same way you are with music. I listen to all different kinds of music, and I know for me that it does affect what I'm painting and what I'm creating. How does music that you listen to affect what you're drawing? And do you listen to specific kinds of music when you're drawing a specific piece of or working on a specific piece of creativity?
It partially has to do with mood. You know, I can't always listen to heavy music. You know, I've broken a few pencils doing that, so yeah, not good. Usually it's, you know, lately it's been a lot of the lighter stuff, you know, some more classical kind of stuff, but not like, I'm not going to sit there and say I'm listening to Beethoven or Mozart. It's classical renditions of, you know, music I already know, you know, that kind of stuff, or movie soundtracks, things like that. Just to, you know, calm me down a little bit. But yeah, other times, you know, if it's like on the weekend in the morning, you know, I got to get going. Boom. Something, you know, Fast and Furious is playing. Yeah, I don't, it's always going to be something with music that's going to get me going. It's not going to be something with video. That's for sure. I do not have a TV on. I don't have, you know, my iPad, you know, playing a movie or any shit like that. It's got to be some form of music. And yeah, it's going to influence, it's probably going to influence more how I do something and not what I want to do in life.
So more how you're doing it, not the end result, not the outcome.
Yeah, and especially if I'm doing something that, you know, probably takes a little more detail, it's going to be something a little, you know, mood specific, you know. And if it's something that I'm just, you know, figuring stuff out, then it'll probably be, you know, faster type of, you know, music or whatever, because that tends to get the ideas going, you know, shakes things up.
So you said you've only just recently, gotten on Instagram and actually started sharing your work. What made you to decide that you wanted to share your work with the world? And were you nervous? Were you excited? You said you kind of thrive on the negative criticism, but a lot of times when we post stuff, we get, oh yeah, tons of likes. What inspired you to share what you do?
Yeah, just to clarify one thing, it's not necessarily negative criticism that I like. It's just actual, criticism. When you criticize, work, say you could have done this better, maybe do this, that kind of thing. Oh, negative criticism. Oh, you're blocked. Fuck off. I don't care.
Then constructive criticism, completely different.
Constructive. Thank you.
Yeah.
Getting over that, it's just one of those things where I just knew I had to do it. I know what my issues are. I know what I need to get through, so I know what I need to do it. And getting stuff online, because I knew I could do it. I might as well just start showing this stuff out there. I don't even show my quote unquote professional work on my Instagram, just because I kind of keep that's for work. That's the day job. That's the whatever. Having the art stuff, because it's more personal. It's me. I have my life on there. It's not like this perfectly curated Instagram where I just have only one thing on there. Listen, you guys want to see my dog? Go right ahead. You want to see a bruise on my face because I fell on my ass doing something stupid? Go on. It's on there probably. I don't know. I might have taken that off. I almost Instagrammed. I didn't want to say it, but my dog crapped in the kitchen when I got home today, but no, I wasn't going to put that on there. Those things I knew if I'm going to get over this, I have to start putting work out there. I get very, kind of close off a little bit. If somebody asks me, hey, draw this for me, I'm like, okay, let me go into another room and do it. And, you leave me alone, that kind of thing. So, yeah, getting it out there on Instagram really helps doing that, because a lot of the people that I know personally in real life that I see all the time, they see it too, they know it. So it's kind of like in the same way I'm doing it in front of them, in a way like, look, I did this or whatever, So that was a big help, trying to get over that.
Sharing that quiet part of you with the world that most people don't see because it's something that's personal.
Right. It's kind of like, the person that some people know they sing really well, but they won't do it in front of people, that kind of thing. Like, you can do it. You kind of want people to know you can do it, but at the same time, like for me, I don't want to hear anything from anybody, to be honest. Like, I'm not good with praise. I'm not good with any of that. Like I said, I'm actually better with somebody being like, okay, well, that's cool, but why don't you try this and that kind of thing. Like, I feel like I get more out of it than that. If all of a sudden I'm doing everything that's great and everybody loves it, then it's like, well, why bother now? I now have nothing to learn. So, okay.
Yeah, that continual growth is what keeps you going. That continual learning and educating yourself and to better yourself in your art is always a better thing, always an amazing thing. So, what are your thoughts? What kind of advice would you give someone who are creative, who, thinks they can't draw a stick figure, which drives me crazy, or someone who's, kind of wanting to get back into creativity and starting to do their thing? It's actually a two-part question.
You cut out a little bit, but I'm from what I get is you're asking what advice I would give for somebody that wants to get back into it.
What kind of advice would you give someone who doesn't think they're creative, who can't even draw a stick figure, so they say, and also somebody who wants to get back into it, who maybe, has taken a long hiatus and just wants to start being, that creative person, or encouraging that creativity in themselves?
If somebody came up to me and said that they're not creative and they don't know how, they can't even draw a stick figure, I would get a piece of paper and a pencil and I'd be like, okay, show me that you can't draw a stick figure. Do it. And they're going to draw a stick figure. 9 times out of 10, they're going to draw a stick figure. 1 time out of 10, they'll draw you the Mona Lisa. And that's when I throw my hands up in the air and I walk away and it's like, what the hell? No, I really don't know what I would say to somebody. I would just, other than, I'd probably just ask them, what is it that makes you, I think there's something in there that people, for whatever reason, they think they can't do something. Maybe they did try and do something and out and they think, oh, that's it. I'll never be able to do this again. Something probably demotivated them, I mean, that almost happened to me with drawing. I kind of just felt so out of it that I was like, I'm not going to do it anymore. But I would tell people, you know what? There's nothing wrong with trying. Not everybody is going to be, a great artist. I know some people that are really, really great fucking artists. They are amazing. They will never do anything with it because they just don't want to. And there's something within us where some people want to do stuff. On the flip side of the greatness, I know some people that just do some completely shit work, and they're very popular, and people love them. Not to dump on them, but like, it's more a matter of your personality, your whatever your goals are, and this and that. Like, you can get away with doing anything, but if you think you're not creative, you're cheating yourself. You really are cheating yourself, because everybody has something. Human beings exist based on creation. Humans create other humans. Animals create other animals. Everything is just creation. Everything is creative. Everything that you do that didn't exist a second ago, you just created that. That's yours. Like, you just made that. Doesn't matter what it is. I think people are just afraid. They're afraid to hear what others are going to say. You're bearing your soul to people when you draw something. If you want to just copy something and smear some marker on it and throw it on Instagram just to get likes, good for you. Go for it. You probably don't care. But there are some people that when they do their art, it's them. It's a part of them. And to put that out there, it scares people. It scared me for a long time, and now it's, I do more of the, comic style. I'm not really doing anything, emotional or whatever. But, for anybody that thinks that they're not creative, it's just not true. You just have to try and find something that you like. But at the same time, you got to figure out what it is that makes you so afraid of being creative, or to say that you're creative,
I think,
and there's probably a part to that, and I forgot.
That's fine. I'll ask you. I think part of it is also giving yourself permission and saying, I'm giving myself permission to be creative in whatever capacity that means to me. To somebody else, it may be something completely different. But to me, this is my creative outlet. For me, painting. For me, building things out of wood. For me, building things, in the yard. Everything is relative to who you are and what you imagine as being creative. We wouldn't have anything if we didn't have creative people. So people are creative. So thoughts about the ideas of, creatives not doing their thing and in this world and being productive, being financially viable. Most people, when they, they say, okay, I'm an artist. Oh, what's your real job? Is what I get. Okay, so you're an artist. So what's your real job? This is my real job. Now, for me, I call myself an artist. My working with our business, our sign business, that's my part-time job. I do that just to help out. It's not my real job. It's not what I do. What are your thoughts on that?
You kind of cut out. You said something about part-time job, art.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on artists making a living with their art?
Oh, I say if you can do it, congratulations, you just won at life, because that is not an easy thing to do. I have some friends that do that. I have a friend who call him an urban artist, I guess, and he's doing really well with it. But other than that, I don't know anybody that actually makes a living off that, like personally, that makes a living off their artwork. It's incredibly difficult. I remember when I was a kid, must have been a conversation at the dinner table or something like that, I want to be an artist. I want to be a comic book artist. I want to, do this for a living. My dad almost threw, a glass of wine at me. That's not going to happen. You know, I come from very, you know, blue collar, hardworking, you know, type of family. You know, my father, immigrants. My dad's been working in construction, you know, for God knows how long, longer than I've been alive. That's for sure. And you know, you got to be doing a viable job. You got to be working construction. You got to be an engineer, or you got to, you know, you got to do something. But art, that is not going to be a career. You're not going to make any money in that. Blah blah blah. That's just not true. You know, anybody can make money with their art, but you have to know how to, you know, you have to know how to find, I guess, your niche in a way. I mean, you can, if you want to be a comic book artist, you can be a comic book artist, but you know, you're going to come across a shit ton of competition, you know, but you can do it. You just got to find the way to get in there, to get your work out there. You can make your money as, you know, as a painter, but you got to find a way to get that out there. Nobody's really going to make paintings and go out on the street and sell them. It just doesn't happen today. And if it does, congratulations, you know. I think it's really just finding that right, you know, outlet for it. Also making sure you have a little bit of, you know, business savvy about you, because today that's pretty much what you need. There's so many ways that people can get their, you know, their work out there, that, you know, the competition is a lot greater. But at the same time, you know, the landscape has actually gotten broader. So there really is a lot more you can do, and a lot more that you can do to promote yourself. You just have to, you know, find that corner of, you know, the space that's yours, you know, and use that.
I agree. I think that's perfect. And I was actually just talking to someone earlier who said, you know, having a part-time job as an artist is not a bad thing. It doesn't degrade you as an artist. It sometimes helps to alleviate your wanting to do your art, taking the pressure off of being an artist, because you have that supplemental income. And there are tons of people out there who have 2 and 3 jobs. And if one of them can be something that you love, and you're making a little bit of an income doing something that you love, it makes your whole day so much better. It really does.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you can get something where you're bringing in money that takes care of all, you know, all the bullshit, where you can do what you love. I mean, I have friends who live to travel. You know, they have their jobs, but they love to travel. I'm jealous of those people. I'm not jealous of the people that work to have, you know, nice cars or huge houses. You know, I'm jealous of the people that can work to do what they love. You know, that kind of thing. You know, I'm a horrible traveler too. I can't. I hate getting from one place to another. I love being in another place. I hate getting to another place. That's my problem. Yeah, you know, if you want to be an artist and you're willing to sacrifice, by all means, go for it. You know, take a job, 2 jobs, 3 jobs, whatever you got to do to take care of, you know, real life or the boring life, so you can have your fun life and the one that gets you out of bed in the morning. By all means, do it. There's nothing's holding you back except for yourself. You know, I don't take my own advice, but listen to me, people.
I was to say, I completely agree. I do the same thing. Don't listen to my own advice, but I agree. You know, do what you need to do to make yourself happy. Set your life up in a way that makes you want to get out of bed in the morning. So, Sergio, last question, and then I don't remember if I asked you. I wanted you to show us some of your work. What kind of a legacy do you want to leave with your work?
That is heavy. Yeah, I've never really thought about that. I kind of just want to show that I, you know, broke through some walls, that I did what I love to do. I didn't, maybe at one point I don't hold back, that I didn't stop, that I just kept going and I grew, and that's really it. I don't think too much about a bigger picture, because then the self-saboteur that's always back there behind me comes in and be like, it's too much work, buddy. It ain't gonna happen. Nah, focus on right now. So yeah, I kind of just, I don't want to leave anything embarrassing, that's for sure. So I'm gonna burn all the evidence. So if anybody's thinking about rummaging through some stuff, nah, not gonna happen. No, I'm just gonna leave some of the decent stuff, you know.
So you're not going to allow someone to see your growth and progress.
If you can call it that. There's some growths in there, if you want to call it that.
I'm going to call it that. So, do you have any artwork right here that you can show us?
Sure. Hold on. Try and if you don't keep this stuff organized.
Are the pieces behind you on? That's okay. Are the pieces on the wall behind you yours?
Oh, the stuff behind me? No, that's a couple things I picked up at Comic-Con. Something I even picked up from another artist. Yeah, I mean, most of the, I can't move the laptop, but I got a lot of posters around all, you know, like silk screen stuff. Fine. So this was one that I just posted last night. I don't know if you see it.
Yeah.
That's the Red Sonja piece.
I see.
Well, you know, Copic marker, but started with, you know, pencil and ink. There's another recent one. That's Sombra from the video game Overwatch. That one. See, one that I'm not too embarrassed about.
No, you have to show us something that you're embarrassed about.
Oh, really? All right. We can find something unfinished. Okay, so here's one that's unfinished. That I just mangled the face on this one. So it's just been sitting there. I may go in and you know, fix it digitally. But, yeah, I don't know.
You say mangled the face, and I'm like, holy cow, how did he draw that? That is amazing.
Yeah, her face looks a little more like mine than a beautiful woman, that's for sure. Let's see. Trying to find some. Oh, this one I actually really like. So I don't do a lot of, you know, conceptual pieces, but I did this one during Inktober. Kind of like the whole, you know, people on Instagram just to get the likes and that's it, you know. I like the color that came out again. You know, with the marker stuff.
That would actually be cool if you did that with, for the little social media logos on websites. You know how they have the little Instagram and Periscope and Pinterest and the little Facebook. Do each one of those for those little buttons. That would be really cool.
Yeah. What else do I have here? I'm trying to find the embarrassing stuff that I didn't finish. Here's one. This was just a pen and ink. Killer Croc about to eat some poor helpless person. Need to finish that one. Thank you. This is one. So during Inktober this year, I kind of the prompt from Jake Parker, who was the guy that started Inktober. Every day there was a word that you had to follow and do your drawings based on, and I kept falling behind. I didn't have the time to really, you know, do a piece a day. So I ended up doing this one piece where I was behind a day. So I did it in 2 stages, where day 1 was I forgot what it was, something with liquid, something. I forget what it was. So I did just the fist with the blood coming down on it. And then the second day was battle. So I finished the rest right through this guy back there and, you know, some destruction in the background and everything. And one of the pieces I actually like. I can actually say I like this one. It came out kind of what I envisioned, which is rare.
It was gorgeous.
Thank you. Yeah, another slightly conceptual piece. This was, I don't remember what the prompt was for this, but I did have a headache, and that's exactly what it felt like. Somebody popping out of my freaking head. So I did that one, and it worked for that day at least. So you want me to keep going?
Yeah, just a couple more. I want to see. I love your work, so I love seeing them. So please.
Some slightly older ones from here. Oh, a couple of sketch cards. This one I posted. That's just, you know, Hulk. There's a big green face. This one I actually don't think I posted. Wasn't too crazy about it. Psylocke.
Okay, so you say you weren't too crazy about it. So what, because me looking at it, I'm like, holy crap, it's gorgeous. What is it that you see or don't really like about it?
Yeah, it just anatomically, it's off. You know, like I can look at it and I can see the eyes are wrong. One of the things I do, and I don't know if, you know, if any artists are watching, and they don't do it often, if you do a piece like this, as you're drawing it, get a mirror, put it right here, and take a look at how the thing looks on the other side. You'll see right away the things that you didn't notice are wrong. I do that after the fact, which is what happened with this. And I kind of knew as I was doing it, like the eyes were off and this and that. So I didn't do anything with it, but I kept it. You know, I didn't throw it out. I still finished it. I colored it in. I did everything I needed to do because, you know, with this one, I wanted to do that background. That's actually what I just really wanted to do, was just try and figure out, you know, some kind of just different, you know, look, something different than what I don't normally do. You know, a lot of the stuff that I've been doing, you know, again, one of the big influences that I've had is artists on Instagram. You know, a lot of people that I hadn't followed for a long time, you know, comic book artists that I didn't, you know, really do. And I look at this stuff today, like I just started getting into comics. I'm looking at the covers and things like that. Now that I have a graphic design background, everything is completely different. I love now going to my old comic shop, which is still there. I couldn't believe it. Same guy still running it. And I just look at the books. And I'm like, Matt, these aren't just artists doing these books. There are designers working on this stuff, which, you know, one of the things that keeps me going is, you know, when you develop an eye for different things and you kind of just see, you kind of know a little bit about, you know, what happens in the kitchen, you know. So now it's, you know, I'm trying to think of what the quote was from Inktober, Jake Parks. It's something about like finished, not perfection, something like that, where just try to get something done. It doesn't have to be perfect, because what's not done to you could be perfect to somebody else. You know, I see a lot of flaws in what I do, but, you know, I could show you when you say it's amazing. It's like, wow, cool, thank you. You know, but I still put it down like, man, I should have done this, I should have done that kind of thing.
And it's kind of interesting that whole thing, putting the mirror up there. Personally, I wouldn't have known. I know upside down and flipping backwards and kind of looking at it. Oh, I get some echo all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So, thank you very much, sir. I really appreciate it. I'm getting like a lot of reverb.
Yeah, it's cutting in back and forth a little bit.
Okay, because I'm getting some echo. I just wanted to say thank you. I so greatly appreciate it. You are one of my favorite artists that I follow, and it's kind of cool that I've been asking a lot of people that I follow, and I'm like, when one of you guys says yes, I'm like a little kid.
Well,
it's so awesome.
Yeah. Well, before we sign off, I have to say a big thank you to you, and I want to make sure I do it public. As you know, for me this summer, you know, I lost my job. First time I ever lost one. Depressed as shit. Tammy Talks at 2 p.m. every day was one of the things that kept me going. You are, you know, one of the most motivational people that I know. I, you know, make sure to catch as many of your broadcasts as I can. Really helped me. You know, you talked me off the ledge, you know, more times than you had to, which I appreciate that. So thank you so much for what you did for me this year. I really appreciate that. Don't cry. Don't.
I'm sorry, I'm trying not to. You're so sweet. I care about you because you're amazing, and I don't want to lose a phenomenal artist. You know, I know you think, oh my God, I'm not that good, or I've got work to do, but I've been following your work, and I love your attitude. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm so
I'm happy you asked me. This is, you know what? This is another one of those things where when you asked me, I was like, oh shit, now I got to get on camera, and there's going to be people watching. Oh no, but you know what? It's one of those things that you got to just, you know, this helps me. This is one of those things that I need to be doing. So, you know, thank you for having me on.
I appreciate it. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to sign off, but don't leave yet. Okay. Thank you very much. If you're watching this, again, we interviewed Sergio Azevedo at. I really want to ask that.
I could tell you. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah, actually, go ahead, dude.
Yeah. All right. Bonus material. So I've had that handle, and the funny thing is, today from Periscope this afternoon and tonight is the most I've ever heard that handle spoken out loud. Because it's just so freaking ridiculous. I've had it since the America Online days, or AOL as us old timers call it. Yeah, it was one of those things that for two reasons I started using it. One, I just thought it sounded funny as hell. It was just so silly. But also, it comes from this thing that I had read a while back, where human evolution is sparked by, you know, psychedelics. That a monkey or a chimp ate a magic mushroom, and that triggered something in their brain, and that's what got us to, you know, the intelligence that we have in such a short amount of time, relatively, you know, speaking. So yeah, there's kind of a real thing behind it, but at the same time, it's just such a crazy visual that I've stuck with it ever since, and I use it everywhere. So
I love it. And I love it even more now that I know the reason behind it. It's even more amazing. So thank you very much, Sergio.
Okay.